Everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. You play Rachel with Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline, and Coup de Grace with Nimbus Cloak and Gathering Storm secondary. Your shards are Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and either Armor or Magic Resist depending on the enemy bot lane. You max E first, W second, and Q last while putting a point into your ultimate whenever possible. Level 1, you always get a Doran's Blade and 1 health potion. Rachel is highly dependent on her spells, which means she synergizes extremely well with Essence Reaver. Additionally, Blade Caller deals bonus damage based on critical strike chance, and therefore going for a full crit build is your best option when playing this champion. Your core build consists of Essence Reaver, Berserker's Greaves, Infinity Edge, and Rapid Fire Cannon. The remaining 2 item slots are mostly used for Phantom Dancer and either Mortar Reminder against tanks or Death's Dance against assassins. In very specific matchups, Guardian Angel or Mercurial Scimitar can also be viable, but anything works really as long as you remember to click the subscribe button. Rachel's late game is super strong as she can take down almost any opponent in a 1 vs 1 fight thanks to her W, on top of having strong counter engage with her E and her ultimate. However, you might find yourself struggling with her during the lane phase. Rachel's auto attacks have an abysmally short range of 525 units, which means she gets poked out and zoned by most of the metagame right now. Your only chance of winning lane is knowing if you could win in an all-in scenario or not, whereas other AD carries can simply win lane by dealing chip damage and going for smaller trades. Rachel, however, will always lose small trades due to her range disadvantage, so it's either all or nothing for her. In those all-in fights, every ounce of damage can make the difference, which means it is most important for you to get maximum value out of your strongest dueling spell, W. You achieve this by pressing the like button and activating this ability at the same time when your first auto attack is traveling towards your opponent. This might seem simple, but it is an absolutely crucial detail. Your E, on the other hand, is less simple but equally crucial. The best case scenario is obviously you being able to auto attack freely, laying down as many feathers as possible and then pressing E when most enemies are still in range. In a lot of cases, however, you cannot afford to hold onto your E for that long, as you need it to snare enemies trying to run you down. Yes, it is important to at least roughly keep track of where your feathers are placed, but the closer an opponent gets to you, the easier it is to hit them with at least 3 feathers, which is the magic number for your E to snare them. Therefore, Blade Caller is a rather reliable defensive tool, but inferentially it is quite difficult to snare enemies trying to get away from you. When you want to go for an all-in, you can lay down some feathers, press E, and then flash on top of your enemy to abuse the fact that they will get hit by more feathers the closer they are. Rachel's Q is mainly used to get a 3-feather snare on a max range target. When there is already at least 1 feather behind your enemy, you can use the Q plus E combo to catch them. This combo is most effective when you are in auto attack range, because you can then use your W to get the first feather and continue to attack them after they got snared, getting full damage from your W. If you have Rapid Fire Cannon, you can also snare them with a Q plus auto attack plus E combo without any prior setup. Rachel's feathers are not only a strong zoning tool in teamfights, but also excellent for wave clear. This means that you can farm minion waves while staying super safe because the enemy cannot approach the wave themselves without walking over all of your feathers. Therefore, you essentially get infinite lane priority as soon as you complete Essence Reaver, since you will have all of your abilities available at all times now without any mana issues. Just make sure that you place your feathers close to the middle of the lane you try to farm, so your E can cover as much space as possible. The most difficult aspect of this champion is using her ultimate correctly. One of its uses is to dodge key abilities aimed at you, as Rachel becomes untargetable for 1.5 seconds when you press R. You can only really pull this off if you plan out fights in your head before they happen. You need to identify those key threats on the enemy team, such as Ash Arrow, Fizz Ulti or Hecarim E, and hold onto your R until the enemy is overcommitted. Doing all this purely on reaction is incredibly difficult, but if you anticipate what your opponent will likely try to do, it becomes quite easy and allows you to make some sick outplays with this spell. You should essentially use it in the same way you would use Zhonya's Hourglass, the only difference being that you can still move around while using Rachel's ultimate. Another application of that spell is the obvious R plus E combo, as your ultimate sends out 5 feathers instantly. Using this for damage and CC during all-ins is fine, but keep in mind that you need to play teamfights way more defensively when this escape button is on cooldown. When your Q is ready, you can also use your R to animation cancel your Q for a Q plus R plus E combo. Doing this, you significantly increase your damage and make it way more likely to root multiple enemies due to the 2 extra feathers coming from Q. You lose almost 0 extra time as Q's cast animation gets completely swallowed by your ultimate's animation. If you enjoy playing highly technical champions with lots of outplay potential, you can also check out my Vayne guide, which should be on your screen right now.